And I promise you, this new policy will bring unprecedented prosperity to every single household.
Oh, here we go again.
They continue to promise us the earth, but we can all see the storm brewing. We know that it could spill over at any time into civil unrest, worst, global conflict. On Context, we look at how to save the West, how to face the challenges of modern Britain through a strategic perspective. Welcome to Context with me, Joseph Robertson. Good morning. It's 7:30 a.m. on Friday, July the 25th, 2025. You know where the Weetabix is by now, but do you know where the real power lies in your government? I'm Joseph Robertson, and this is episode 3 of Context, your daily strategic briefing. We're not here to parrot the establishment line. We're here to reveal the invisible networks, trace the money trails, and equip you with the tools to dismantle the shadows threatening our sovereignty. The elite in Whitehall and the city, and those in DC, will tell you that NGOs and, over here, Quangos, are just benign helpers, filling gaps in public service. They paint a picture of charity and efficiency, while these bodies quietly weave a web of unaccountable control. The new elites are wrong, and their deception is costing us our freedom. Are you aware? Not of the puppet politicians on stage, but the strings pulled by unelected entities funded by globalist billionaires. The deep state isn't a myth. It's a network built on taxpayer money and foreign influence, operating beyond democratic oversight. This isn't some abstract conspiracy. This is embedded in our institutions, right here in Britain, mirroring the battles across the Atlantic. Today on Context, we expose the shadow network, how NGOs, Quangos, and government-affiliated bodies form the backbone of the deep state. We'll trace the open arms funding from malefactors like George Soros to the political ecosystem surrounding every British Prime Minister since Tony Blair, except for one, Liz Truss. We'll uncover how firms like Larry Fink's BlackRock are snapping up resources and land, with Soros and Bill Gates capitalising alongside. But we'll also flip the script, buying land and resources as an act of rebellion, and we'll highlight Trump's counter-revolution powered by tech giants and a financial network, showing how the right is fighting fire with fire. Finally, a reminder, to be politically savvy, we must master finance, as in this strategist's opinion, with due respect to the Breitbart doctrine, culture often flows downstream from legislation, which bends to money. This network isn't organic. It's engineered to erode our independence, and today we shine a light on it. The deep state's backbone, NGOs, Quangos, and unelected power. Let's begin with the foundations. NGOs, non-governmental organisations, and Quangos, quasi-autonomous non-governmental organisations, are sold as independent experts aiding policy. In reality, they're the deep state's tentacles, unelected bodies wielding immense power without accountability. In Britain, Quangos control billions in public funds, setting regulations that bypass Parliament. They're staffed by ideologues who push globalist agendas, open borders, net zero extremism, and cultural erosion. It's why Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch has, somewhat ironically, in her desperation to counter the surge of Reform UK, declared a war on the blob, her term for this sticky nexus of Quangos and liberal bureaucrats sabotaging Conservative policies. In a recent speech, she vowed to scrap Labour's proposed Fair Work Agency, yet another Quango, she called it, designed to hound businesses. Well, it's a timely call, echoing Liz Truss's short-lived battle against the same forces, but I say ironically because the networks surrounding Kemi are all part of the problem, many of them being the people who helped bring down Liz in the first place. Under those same Tories, the blobocracy grew and grew. These entities form a network with NGOs, often funded by governments, yet lobbying them in a feedback loop of influence. They create the illusion of consensus, but it's manufactured. On the funding, it flows from shadowy sources, entrenching the deep state. Soros funding, a web of influence. Enter George Soros and his son Alex, the billionaire speculator whose open society foundations have poured millions into UK politics. Since Tony Blair's era, the political ecosystem has been saturated with Soros's influence. Through a web of grants to think tanks, NGOs and campaigns, his globalist vision of borderless societies and progressive reforms has been pushed on every successive government. Blair, Brown, Cameron, May, Johnson and Sunak. His foundations have funded anti-Brexit groups like Best for Britain, and even given money to a conservative think tank, Bright Blue, to campaign on rights enshrined in European law, demonstrating how his influence permeates all sides of the establishment. But Liz Truss? She rejected the globalist consensus, focusing on growth, and was swiftly ousted by the blob. Soros's money isn't charity, it's mafia control, and he's not alone. In a move that reveals the alignment of these globalist titans, a consortium led by the Soros Economic Development Fund with support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation recently acquired the British diagnostic tech firm Mologic, capitalising on a crisis to expand their network. BlackRock, Soros, Gates, monopolising resources. This brings us to the resource grab. Larry Fink's BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is buying up land, infrastructure and resources at a staggering pace. In his 2025 investor letter, Fink declared that governments can no longer fund the world's infrastructure needs, creating a massive opportunity for private capital to consolidate control over everything from energy and water to data. Just in the last few weeks, BlackRock announced a massive AI partnership with Microsoft and the UAE-based MGX to mobilize up to $100 billion for data centers and the power infrastructure to run them, gobbling up land for tech dominance. Soros and Gates are in on it too. Gates-linked firms recently purchased a 14,500-acre farmland property in Washington's Benton County for $171 million, adding to its portfolio as the largest private owner of US farmland. Meanwhile, Soros's investments in the agribusiness firm Adecoagro gave him a stake in over 700,000 acres of farmland in Argentina, Brazil and Uruguay. They're capitalizing on food security and resources, turning essentials into profit machines under the guise of sustainability. This isn't free market, it's monopolization, driving up costs for ordinary people while securing leverage over governments. But here's the twist. Buying your own land and resources can be an act of rebellion. In a world where these elites hoard control, reclaiming property decentralizes power. Look at Texas. A new law effective this September blocks entities from China, Russia, Iran and North Korea from buying agricultural and other real property, a move explicitly designed to protect national sovereignty. It's a model for Britain. Own your plot, grow your food, generate your energy. Small-scale investments in our own nation's soil defy the globalists, building self-reliance against their engineered scarcities. Trump's tech counter-revolution. Palantir and Tether strike back. Across the Atlantic, Trump's counter-revolution shows part of how to fight back. His administration is leveraging sophisticated tech networks to dismantle the deep state. Palantir, co-founded by Peter Thiel, is central, providing the data analytics for ICEs, deportation and surveillance crackdowns. Just yesterday, protests erupted outside Palantir office over its ICE contracts, highlighting the backlash as Trump expands its role in compiling data on Americans to root out subversives. This is bolstered by a parallel financial network. While crypto giant Tether is not a direct political donor, its financial power is deeply intertwined with the Trump orbit. Cantor Fitzgerald, the firm run by Trump's own transition co-chair and fundraiser Howard Lutnick, manages the vast majority of Tether's reserves, including over $80 billion in US Treasury securities. This creates a powerful alternative financial infrastructure. Thiel's own donations to Republicans, while Palantir secures massive federal contracts, underscore the strategy. use tech and aligned financial networks to match the left's force, turning data and crypto into weapons for sovereignty. Financial savvy, the key to political power. To win, we must be financially savvy. Politics flows from finance. In the UK's legal autocracy, culture is downstream from legislation, which bends to money. Soros knows this, Fink exploits it. We must build our own wealth through smart investments to fund the resistance. We must support policies that back enterprise and demand transparency on foreign funding. These stories connect, from Badenoch, Reid Farage's blob war, to Gates's land grabs and Palantir's data-driven deportations. The deep state is exposed, but fighting back. And we won't yield. People are rising, from Texas land bans to Trump's tech arsenal. The alternative is clear. Audit and demolish the Quangos, reject globalist cash, and invest in our own independence. This is a battle for control, and we arm you for it daily. The strategy demands depth. That's why May Day launches this Sunday, July 27th at 6 p.m, our weekly war room, where I'll be joined by heavyweight experts crafting a blueprint to sever the shadow network. No theory, just action. Join us Sundays at 6 p.m. If this resonates, share it, follow, like and engage. You're the resistance. I'm Joseph Robertson. Until tomorrow, stay vigilant.